Peace, peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, shalom. Hotep, Islam, Alafia. What's going on, family? What's going on? Give thanks for another day. Give thanks for another week. Always give thanks. Always be grateful for what you have and for what you don't have. Always give thanks. Always be grateful for what you have and for what you don't have. All right. Homeschool, that's what's up. Waiting on. Okay. We back. All right, let's see. All right, so we're about to have this much needed discussion about spirituality, about healing. We all need healing. Even if you think you healed, even if you think you got it all together, you can still use a little more healing. You can still use a little more positivity. You can still use a little more affirmation, right? So we just waiting on the sister to come on in, and we're about to get it started. All right. Yes, peace, sis. If you can DM me, that would be great. Right now we're doing a podcast, so if you can DM me, that would be great. All right. All right. Let's see. Thank you all for coming on. It's a beautiful day. Thank you all for coming on. Peace. How are you, beloved?
I'm thankful. How are you?
Indeed. Can you hear me good?
Yes, I can.
Okay. You sound like a low on my end.
Okay. Come a little closer. All right. Can you hear me better?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I can hear you, but it's just not, for some reason. It's not, the volume is probably acting up. All right, but in any case, thank you for coming on. I anticipate that this will be a much needed discourse about energies, about sacredness, Reiki healing in general, and just a tool that or tools that we can use to uplift ourselves and move ourselves forward spiritually in the right direction, right?
All right.
So let me see real quick. I'm gonna play my intro and then we will get it started. Now, what's your name again? Is it Nia?
Nia is one of my names. I have a few names. Many people call me Kajara.
Okay. What you want to be called?
If Nia is good for you, Nia is
good?
One. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe.
Welcome to DTR 360 Books Podcast. DTR 360 Books, we're helping to increase reading literacy. We are here to create more doers and less talkers. This is where we execute the knowledge and put it into action. Enjoy this week's episode of the podcast.
Assalamu alaikum, shalom, Hotep, Islam, Alafia, peace. What's going on, family? It's your brother Kwesi of DTR 360 Books Podcast. We are here live every Monday. So thank all of you who are tuning in on Instagram, and for those who are tuning in on YouTube, I thank you and I give thanks. first and foremost, just a couple of housekeeping items. Make sure that you subscribe. If you are on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe right now before anything else. Make sure that you subscribe so that you can get our notifications and all of our interviews that we've done in the past, like Supernova Slum, Zaza Ali, and so many other great speakers, great healers, and great leaders that we have amongst us at this present time and moment. So right now, I'm about to bring on a very enlightened, seasoned sister. She is in the spiritual, Reiki, chakra energy kind of field. And I don't think I ever had an episode like this before. So although I am privy to that information, I want to bring on someone who is more enlightened and more seasoned than I am, because I do not know everything and we do not know everything as a whole. So a man or woman who knows everything actually knows nothing at all. So I anticipate this discourse. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, make sure that you drop them down in the comment box for our Q&A later on in this interview session. All right. So this sister is an author. This sister is a businesswoman. She's a spiritual healer. She does Reiki. She works with crystal stones, chakras. I would say anything that is spiritual. Definitely, she is the person to go to. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome me, Sister Nia. Welcome, beloved. Welcome.
That's up. That's up. That's up. Thank you so much. And many people do know me as Rekit Kajara or Moor Kajara. So thank you so much.
Okay.
It's
How you
definitely a
feeling today?
pleasure. Oh, I'm good. I'm thankful.
Indeed, indeed. I am thankful as well. I am grateful. Every day I give thanks. Every day I am grateful. Grateful for what I have and grateful for what I don't have. So let's get into it. All right. So tell us about your upbringing. What was that like?
Well, I had the pleasure of moving from Chicago and going to Virginia in my childhood. So I got city life and the country life. And of course, that came with different spiritual teachings as well. I did, I was one of the children that would go to grandma's house for the summer. So I spent time with my grandmother and learned a lot from her. That I still use to this day. So I'm thankful. I also, learned about racism at an early age, going to the South and seeing the behavior of the white folks around there, the colonizers and such. And so I would say I became conscious, at a very early age because of the movements that I was making.
Indeed, indeed. So tell us, how did you get into the spiritual work specifically?
Whew, well, I was born what we would say spiritual. I was born knowing that I was magical, that I was different.
Wow.
And so I just had this inner knowing from a very early age that I was not alone. I knew I was the only child, but I wasn't alone.
Now, so now knowing that you were special, knowing that you was magical, um, did your mother or father tell you those things and you internalize it, or it was just something out of nowhere? Like I know my purpose and I know what I'm here to do. Or was
No
it a little
one,
bit of both?
no one really told me who I was. I definitely figured and felt that out myself. However, when I was young, I did read a lot. And in doing that, I learned a lot at an early age. And so I kind of put the pieces together. So, you know, what people would call a witch, you know, I knew that I was kind of witchy, but I don't consider myself a witch at all. But, you know, that's a more common word for ones like myself, medicine women, natural healers, spiritualists. I'm a priestess as well. So I was just naturally drawn to crystals. I was naturally drawn to plant life and, you know, things that others might find strange. And then I remember when I was, I mean, I knew that I had energy, spirits, ancestors, spirit guides around me because I would speak to them and they would speak to me. And when I got older, maybe in my early 20s, I began to realize that I could also hear other people's ancestors.
Right.
So, you know, that really opened me up to a lot of different things as I learned more about Black history and our own culture and traditions. Of course, you know, I was drawn to it. You know, I was just drawn to it, and I followed. I followed my spirit, and it led me to a beautiful place. It did lead me to finding my purpose and to being able to master it and share with
Mm.
others. So for that, I am very.
Man, yeah, that's beautiful because I know like today's generation, it's like we have to like you know, be constantly telling our youngsters, be constantly telling our children, you know, read, do the right thing, know
Yeah.
your history, know your purpose, things of that nature. And it's just refreshing to hear that, you know, someone like you didn't need to be told those things. You kind of just knew it, and you knew your purpose. And as you said, you was drawn to these energy forces of the universe, which is again refreshing. So you also mentioned that you was drawn to books and you love to read, and you was curious as well. And so, what books did you read that opened up your eyes to see the world different? Because I know for me, it was, you know, Malcolm X. His birthday is coming up, May
Yes.
19th. May Allah be pleased with him, right? And, you know, the autobiography of Malcolm X really opened up my eyes and put me on a path to where I am today.
Mm.
But it was because of that book and my cousin who was a 5%er. I'm not sure if he's still a 5%er, but was a 5%er at that time. He just had like a good handful of books just lying around. And I ended up picking up that book and Knowledge of Self by Supreme Understanding. I don't know if you know him, but also end up picking up that book. So what book did you read that opened up your eyes? Was like, I want to know more. You know, I want to dig in a little more.
It absolutely was Malcolm X speeches. It wasn't the
Ah,
autobiography of
okay.
Malcolm X, but when you said Malcolm X, I just
Right,
laughed
okay.
because I remember reading his speeches, and
Right.
the speeches were from the 60s,
Yes.
but everything that he was saying was still valid in the time that
Exactly.
I read it, which was like the late 80s. And so I just remember just being just moved. I did grow up in Chicago, so of course I was conscious and aware of, you know, the Black Panthers and Fred Hampton and, you know, the Black Muslims there and everything like that. So, you know, just reading those speeches for myself, it definitely made me stop and say, whoa, you know, let me go a little deeper, let me learn more. And then, of course, I began to go down that path, reading the books of Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Now,
Oh yeah.
that, what
ISIS
is it?
papers.
The ISIS papers. Now, I'm going to
Yes.
tell you, I had 3 sons and I refused to let them play sports
Yes.
because of, you know, reading that at an early age and just really knowing that everything that she was saying was absolutely on point. So I would say those two books. And then Queen of Fu, I read Heal Thyself in 93. And that really opened my eyes to the more ancient spiritual ways and practices, eating more healthy, fasting, and things like that. So that one I definitely have to mention.
Right.
And then even Sacred Woman, that came out in 2000. And that is like a Bible for Black women. So, really
Wow.
helping many of us at that time. We really did not have a lot of information available about setting up altars. Jambalaya was out by Yana Van Zandt. I remember reading that. Probably that was before Sacred Woman. And she gave a lot of woo. That book was powerful as well.
Yeah.
People
Oh
sending
yeah.
them hearts, that jambalaya. Metu Netter, I got that around that time. So yeah, it was a really powerful time, the late 80s, early 90s. There was a lot of
Yep.
book clubs, a lot of people studying, and not just studying, but really working with the comprehension so that we
Yes.
could take the information and use it and use it for the betterment of our community. Um, so yeah, we did have a good wave with that. The Black schools were strong, the Black bookstores. I remember because I was a merchant at that time, selling jewelry and such. And so I would go to the Black bookstores, and it was like 20 Black bookstores in Chicago
Right.
in the
So,
late. So,
right. Speaking of Black bookstores,
yeah.
obviously, as you said, like late 80s, early 90s, there was an influx of knowledge. There was an influx of, wanting to learn more, wanting to do more, reading and writing books and, going to bookstores, things of that nature. So it was more it was more of that then than it is now. So why do you think that we've seen a decrease, if you will, and reading books, especially in Black bookstores? There's been a decrease because there's not many Black bookstores anymore in Harlem, New York, especially Brooklyn, right, and all around the United States. Why do you think that is?
Well, brother, in my opinion, it was the crack era that really
The crack era. Okay.
destroyed our community, it destroyed our families, and even the love that we had for ourselves prior to
Mm,
that. Because, it brought with it the addiction mentality, but it also brought those drug dealers and the stripper pimp culture, and it changed the way that we saw ourselves, and so it wasn't important anymore to read books and to have
right.
knowledge and to dress a certain way. That became very different. Those of
Mm,
us who chose to walk that path, it was not common. It still is
right.
not. So, but
Right.
yeah, I attribute it to the crack era. Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm. So now, speaking of books, speaking of Black bookstores, what got you into reading books? I know you said, earlier got into the ISIS paper, Dr. Francis Cross Welsing, may Allah be pleased with her, Malcolm X, reading his speeches in the late 80s and so forth. I'm pretty sure that had an impact on you writing books. But I'm curious to know what actually got you into wanting to write a book, and now many books, years to come. Congrats, by the way, on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. To be honest with you, I'm always motivated by my children. So when it came to me reading and wanting to learn more, I wanted to be able to teach my children how to live better than I did. And that was my main motivation. And then even for writing books, um, you know, everything that I'm doing, I'm working to leave a legacy for those who come after me. And I didn't necessarily see myself as a writer when I was young, but I've I was a teacher. When I graduated college, I did begin teaching. And I would just say I'm right now and for a long time, I have been led by spirit.
Uh,
So when I went through a few initiations and I began my own spiritual journey on a deeper level. And so I was really charged to do the work that I'm doing. I was told, you need to
right.
do this, this is what we want you to do. And even I was just telling someone the other day, one of the books, not just one, but the books are spiritually guided. You know what I'm saying? I'm a daughter of Tahuti, you could say. Excuse me. So that Rise of Nation book, when I wrote that, I don't even remember actually writing some of the words. Like when I go back and read it, I'm like,
Wow.
ooh,
Did I write
because
that?
exactly,
Did I say that?
exactly. Yeah, Walibu Baruti had put a quote out, and I was just like, is that really in that book? Because it was just so, it came through kind of fast, and it was just like, truly spiritually guided. So
Mm,
that's my motivation and my inspiration.
indeed, indeed. I love it. I love it. So now, also, so thank you first and foremost because I myself, I'm an online bookstore, as you may or may not know.
Yes.
And I've been working with you over the years and getting your books and, posting them up and putting them on my website as well. So, so thank you for books like these, right? Thank you for books like these, Recipes for Elevation. Thank you for books like these, right? Kemetic Reiki, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So speaking of Kemetic Reiki, I'm familiar with Reiki, right? I'm familiar with Reiki.
Okay.
Healing of the hands, not physically touching, but it's energy work, if I'm not mistaken. But when I seen Kemetic Reiki, I was kind of thrown off. I was like, okay, is this related to ancient Kemet? Is this like a twist in words or something? So tell the people, what is Kemetic Reiki for most people who may not know?
All right, absolutely. So, we understand that everything has its roots in ancient Kemet. All medicine, all sciences, all mathematics, and including the healing arts. And so I just went to Egypt last year. I went to Kemet myself to see and to feel
Oh,
and
you
to
went there.
know. I did, I did.
Okay. How
And
was it? How was that experience?
it was outstanding. Like words cannot describe how powerful the energy is there.
Hmm.
The monuments, the pyramids, the tombs,
You
just
should have
the
posted some pictures
stories.
about that.
I did. I
You
posted
did?
plenty of pictures.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes,
I
I
gotta look
did.
back and see.
Yeah, it was in August of last year. And
Okay.
so going there really, really confirmed everything that we're doing and where it comes from. And even the tour guide said, you'll come to find that everything has its origins right here in the base of the Nile River. So, the energy work, the hand positions, the understanding that we have energy in our hands and that we can give energy through our hands. We can receive energy through our hands. This is why people shake hands when they meet. It's an exchange of energy. It's not just a greeting that's just simple because everything that we do, it is a meaning for it. It's a reason behind
Right,
it, whether we
right.
know it or not. So understanding Reiki, Raseki actually means Reiki because Reiki is a practice that deals with the energy of the sun, which we call the energy of the sun Ra,
Right.
right? And also our own personal life force energy. So we call it Sekim. Some people call it Ki or Chi. So we bring the Sekhi part, which is the energy, is actually the unity of the infinite life force energy around us with our own personal life force energy. And when we are able to consciously work with the infinite energy, then we're able to do healing work, laying on of hands. We can do astral projections. We could do moving things without touching it.
Wow.
We can
Wow.
do things,
Yeah. I've heard about that too.
right.
You
So,
you definitely got to tap into like another dimension for that.
well, you have to raise your vibration. We all have vibration. We all have frequency. We just don't understand it fully. And that's why this information has been coming out to help us to understand these chakras. So we have these energy centers within us. And these energy centers, they are spiritual centers as well. So they help to connect us to the planets. They connect us to different fragrances, to different sounds, to different colors, different things, like different frequencies basically. So as we understand how our energy works, then we're able to use it as well as all of nature to help us to stay healthy and balanced. Now, when we talk about being healthy, we're not just talking about physical health, because, as you have seen, a lot of people have been speaking about mental health lately, because that is a big part of us that we do have to deal with and make sure that we're taking care of it. We also have to think about our emotional health
Mm.
and our spiritual health.
Right. Right.
So, we as a community, we have been spiritually attacked. We've been attacked on all fronts, actually. But each of those areas, those aspects of ourselves, we have to address when it comes to our healing. And this is why we could go to the doctor, get some pills, and still stay sick, for years and years and years. We don't get the actual cure because we have to deal with those other aspects of the self. So we see that people who usually get sick, oftentimes they have a spiritual disconnect. And then the
Oh.
sickness itself causes them to pray more and become more spiritually in tune. And then if they make the right mental choice, then they can overcome whatever sickness.
Mm.
The mental choice has to be one of knowing that they could heal and also committing to doing the work that
Right,
is
I was about to
required.
say that. Right, doing the work,
Gotta do
because
that
you
work,
can,
baby.
right, you can say it in your mind, and
Yes.
then that's it. You got to do the work.
Yes.
My thing is, applied knowledge is true power. A lot of people like to say knowledge is power, but my personal opinion, I disagree. You can have all the books, you can have all the knowledge, you can, go on YouTube every day, but it really wouldn't benefit you if you don't do the work. It wouldn't benefit you if you don't apply the knowledge, that which you obtain through YouTube, through these books and so forth.
Yes.
So I always say that the applied knowledge is true power.
Yes, I would have to agree with you, because we also saw that cycle in the community where a lot of people were talking and debating and nobody was making no changes within themselves. So that's where we are right now. We have to look at where we are and what we need to work on within ourselves. People have been talking about doing the shadow work and inner child work. And those things are important, because going back to the energy and the chakras, each of those energy centers does have lessons that come with those that center. So if we're doing the inner child work, then we can help to really balance our root, which is connected and associated with our childlike state, ourselves, between the ages of 0 to 7. So that is the other part of understanding these energy centers and seeing what we could do to balance them, because when we don't have ourselves balanced, like going back to that root chakra, if we have had trouble as children and we don't resolve it, that is the center that deals with stability and grounding and the ability to survive and take care of yourself. So you'll find people who have had trauma during childhood have a hard time
Right.
taking care of their basic needs, because they didn't learn those lessons that they were meant to learn during that time when that
Mm.
center was active and really focus was on that center at that time. So that is why people do Reiki. And yes, you could bring those chakras into balance in a session, but it could be anything, a trigger, a song, a conversation, seeing somebody's picture that could trigger that person and pop that chakra right back out of balance.
Oh,
Because yeah, if you don't
so
feel,
healing. So in other words, like healing is a continuous process. Um, I, I, I always say that you may think that you're healed, but just like you mentioned, you know, a song or someone or something may put you out of balance or may trigger that inner child trauma, or may trigger that, you know, anxiety that you always had.
right,
So to me, we must always seek healing. And it's like healing is a revolving, never-ending process because you
yes,
should always seek to heal yourself every day because you
yes,
never know, you know, what's going to happen. You never know, just like you said, if you're going to get out of balance. So,
mhm,
you know, my mindset and my perspective is try to heal yourself and improve
yes,
yourself every day because self-improvement is the basis for community development. If you're right, then the community is right.
yes, yes, Ashe. And you know, also Dr. Sabi and Dr. Africa taught us to prevent disease. You know, that's why Dr. Sabi always talked about electric foods because we are electric. We need that energy from foods that are real and have actual energy. And so, if we're eating those electric foods, then we can prevent the disease. So, you know, like you said, the healing is a continuous process. And especially when you look at it, like, you know, we're living in a time where they have poisoned the food, the water, and the air. So, we all should be
Right.
more conscious of working and living to prevent disease in our bodies at this time.
Powerful, powerful. So
Hmm.
now, also, I'd just like to state that, so like we healing and with everything, it's holistic, right? Just like you said, like we need to work on our spiritual, mental capacity. We need to work on how we're eating and be conscious of what we're putting into our bodies. We need to worry about, you know, our inner child trauma. All of that is holistic, right? And Dr. Lila Africa, again, you know, may Allah be pleased with him. He taught on holistic health, holistic healing, right? It's a totality of things. It's not just, you know, spiritual work. It's not just being health conscious. It's not just, you know, working on your mental health. It's
Right.
all of it. It's all of it, right? And this is why I have in my business name 360 degrees because there's 360 degrees worth of healing. It's 360 degrees worth of holistic healing and holistic upliftment and empowerment that we must seek to delve into every day. Because white supremacy, believe it or not, is 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
Um, Racism, believe it or not, is 24/7, 365. So if that is every day, as Dr. Frances Cross Wilson, as you are aware of, she mentioned that what so-called white supremacy is a system, right? So if that system is pumping out these media propaganda and these pesticides, processed foods, and you know these misinformation and all of their propaganda 24/7, 365, we must have a system of our own and pump out our positive propaganda, pump out our healing as you're doing, pump out our books and so forth, so that we can combat that negativity with positivity. We could combat that miseducation with education, so on and so forth. So I just say that to say that you also mentioned, especially like in this book, right? Recipes for Elevation. There's like a little bit of everything in this book. This is why this is like one of my favorite books that you've written because it gives you a little bit of everything. It's not just Reiki. It's not just healing. It's everything, right? You give recipes. You give smoothies, teas, and so forth. You also give spiritual baths, right? Which is I found intriguing. Although I do know of spiritual baths and I take some myself. But so for those who don't know of it, what is a spiritual bath and how often should you take spiritual bath?
Oh, that's a great question. So, we take a regular bath or a shower to clear the physical dirt off of our bodies, but we take the spiritual bath to clear that unseen dirt.
Right,
The stuff that we get when we go out into the streets and we are around people that we don't know, when we're touching and hugging others, and we can pick up their energy easily just through touch or even a conversation. So we have to make sure to keep ourselves spiritually clear. We have what we call an aura, and the aura is that which is meant to protect us from things that's not good for us. That's why when people come close, we get that sense rising up. So when we take the spiritual bath, we could clear that auric field and keep it nice so that it can work the way that it's meant to.
okay. And so how often should we take spiritual baths?
So it really depends. Sometimes we do a series of baths, so it could go for 3 days in a row or 7 days. For regular maintenance, maybe once a week. It just really depends on how often you are around people. Sometimes when we have difficulties, challenges, or even confrontations with others, that's always a good time to take that spiritual bath and clear that energy off of us. So you could really do it as often as you need to. It's no set time. Um,
Okay.
they are good to do just to keep yourself balanced. Like I said, at least once a week.
Right, right, indeed, indeed.
Yes.
So that's great. Going back to your books real quick, right? Kemetic Reiki. You have volume 2, which I have in my hands for the people who are listening on our podcast outlets. You also have level 1 as well.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between level 1 and level 2?
So level 1 is the one that focuses on self-healing. So in the level 1 book, it's information that really everyone should know, even though we're calling it Kemetic Reiki. It's basic information that anyone could benefit from knowing. So we do have spiritual baths in there. We have information on keeping your aura clear, the basic information about your chakras, how to work with your spirit guides and your ancestors and things like that. Everyone can benefit from that at this point, especially. Then level 2 is the book that focuses on tools and techniques to help people who really feel like they are healers and want to help heal others using energy. So we call Kemetic Reiki, it's Black people Reiki. It's a little different.
Oh,
So, yeah, I tell people it's like the difference between,
wait, so there's like a white version to Reiki?
it's the one that most people are familiar with is actually Asian. Okay, they say it comes
Asian.
from Japan. Yes. So for us, I tell people that our Reiki is like the difference between going to a Catholic church and a Holy Roller church. It's just very
Mm,
African centered and
right,
different. It's different.
right.
We are it's a more spiritual practice. We deal with the elements and things like that. So in the level 2 book, that's the practitioner book for those who want to help to heal others. We talk about crystal healing, sound therapy, working with your pendulums and things like that. And we also have classes that go with the books. So we do have online classes you can go to as well as other classes in person, and we do retreats. I have to mention the retreats because they are really the best part. So we offer the Kemetic Reiki level 1 and 2 classes, at retreats. We just recently came from Sedona. We'll be going to the beach in North Carolina in June. And we're also planning to go to Jamaica. So that's exciting. And I guess, brother, I'm not sure if you have my most recent books, which I just happen to have. I put these out last year. The Revitalize Your Chakras.
Okay,
Journal.
that's your newest book.
Yeah, this one is the journal. So, you know, I've been
Okay.
teaching Reiki classes for about 15 years, traveling all over the country. So the journal, and then we have the workbook that goes with it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which,
Okay.
you know, I think it's nice to see, you know, we have the pictures of our people in there. And the journal actually has questions for ones to answer that are associated with those chakras. So it's, you know, really good work for ones who are ready to go deeper. And then the workbook has meditations, let's see, recipes, prayers, exercises, yoga poses, all kind of stuff like that, affirmations. So for the 15 years that I've been teaching Reiki, this one is the one that really gives the information on what I learned and how we can use it more practically. You know, because it's nice to understand the chakras and the crystals, eat this color foods and this and that, but you got to really go a little deeper to get the healing.
True.
Excuse me. You know, energy work is not linear. It's not just a straight line to it. You know, sometimes you try this, sometimes you try that. Sometimes you got to mix it up and try
it's
everything.
Abstract.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You do what you can until you figure out what works. That's what I found. Yeah. So if you have different options, then of course you could get that healing done. And you know, that's what it's about, because our people need healing right now. So that's what we focus on. So we have the Revitalize Your Chakras books. We got the prayer book, Speaking with Spirit. We have the recipe book. I'm so thankful that you showed that one and that you mentioned it's one of your favorites. I appreciate that. We have a few children's books as well. We got The Light as a Feather, The Loss of My Heart for Children, which is great. I use it for disciplining the little people and whatnot in a positive way, you know, because we want to reinforce good behavior and good character with the little people. If we could start them off young, it won't be so hard when they get older. So I am a mother.
That's the key.
That's right.
That's the key.
That's right. And I'm a grandmother now. And
okay. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. As they say, black don't crack.
That's right. That's right. You know it.
All right.
So yes. I think I got all the books. The Rising Nation, the Segment Rising. And I think that's
your new books and your children books.
And the Healing Ritual.
Do you have coloring books as well?
Not yet. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I have considered it, but if I just had an artist in my pocket and I could just tell them to draw me this and just get it done, I would probably have like 10 children's books right now. But I don't have that right now. I do have
I know that's something down the line that definitely can be in your collection.
Yes, that would be so nice.
Right.
I do have
also puzzles as well, so that for the youth can work their left and right brain, right? Some Kemetic puzzles, things of that nature. I think it would be great.
Okay.
It would be great for them.
I would definitely meditate on that.
I wanna talk on chakras real quick, right? And I know you mentioned chakras. You work with chakras. You know, we have 7 main chakras in our system, although there are more, but 7 is like the most popular. And then like recently, I seen that you are focusing more on the throat chakra, right? Your throat. So first, I don't want to go too far. So first, telling people what are chakras, how can you align your chakras, and then let me I'm going to pin this for you. And then can I pin it? Okay. What are chakras? How can you align your chakras? Because I hear all the time your chakras have to be aligned, the alignment of the chakras, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And why did you recently started to talk about throat chakras?
Okay. So I'm going to go from the throat chakra back. We have been focusing on one chakra each month. And so we started with the root chakra in January, and now we are on the throat. And it just so happened that the throat chakra month happened to come in the time of Mercury retrograde. And Mercury, of course, is the planet that is known to be associated with communication. And that is, what the throat center is all about. So the chakras are energy centers. They are the parts of us that connect us with the planets, with the sounds, with the frequencies. Our organs also are connected and associated with certain chakras, the glands within us. So it's like some people would call them the souls of Ra, right? So they're the centers that connect us to everything else that is natural, basically. And when we understand that and understand how to work with them, that is really how we can align them. So understanding that we are energetic beings, we're electric, we have energy that can go up and down. If we're listening to high vibration, high frequency music, so think about when you if you're a Muslim and you have heard the people pray the Adhan prayer. When the people are singing that prayer, the frequency is so high, you could feel this energy inside of you. It's similar to the same vibration when you go to a good church and they got a really good choir and they start singing and chanting and, everybody is feeling it. You get this warm feeling inside. That's energy. That's spirit, you know. When you go to an African ceremony and they drumming and dancing and singing, it's the same feeling that you get. It's a warmness, it's an energy, it's your vibration that rises up. Now, if you listen to Miley Percocet and that kind of stuff that they play it on the radio, single ladies and all of that, jigga nigga, that kind of stuff is going to lower your vibration. In fact, it lowers it down to our lower selves. It will make us move the behind because that's where the energy goes when you hear that type of music. So when we understand energy and understand how these chakras work, then we can do the things that will keep them all aligned. So for example, Dr. Sebi and Dr. Africa would tell us to eat raw foods and fruits and a variety of colors, because those variety of colors had a variety of vitamins and minerals and a variety of energetic frequencies that will affect us in different ways. So when we do eat them, or if we don't eat them, so people who eat McDonald's and pizza and all that kind of garbage, which is kind of colorless, if you think about it, it has no frequency at all. So it's going to keep their vibration low because there's no energy to raise it up. If you go get some carrot juice and drink it, you can feel that carrot juice. If you had, feelings inside, you can feel it moving through your body, energizing you as you drink it because it's electric. So that's how we keep ourselves aligned, is the knowing that we have to do things in a variety. Doing the same thing over and over and over is not necessarily good. That's why, my aunt teaches us to live with balance. Do this one day, then the next day that, then the next day, that makes us holistic, because that is how we can affect our different energy frequency.
Right.
We understand those chakras are associated with elements, elemental forces, water, fire, air. So we got to deal with those elemental forces.
Right.
You know, I could go on and on, but you get what
Right.
I'm saying.
Also, like the foods.
Mhm.
So, certain foods that we eat can, I guess, cause our chakras to go out of alignment, right?
Yes.
And certain other foods, fruits and vegetables and herbs can increase or enhance our chakra alignment. Can you talk on that for a minute?
So, yes, of course. Food is very important because we know that that is what it feeds our bodies. It feeds not just the physical self, but it's feeding every aspect of our physical self. It's feeding our organs, our glands, our blood, everything. So if we're not eating food that has nutritional value, then it's nothing to contribute to those parts of us. It's no vibration, no frequency. So like the hybrid, the seedless fruits and such, GMO foods, if they take the seed out, the seed is the part of the plant that allows it to reproduce itself. They're taking it out. So what do you think is going to affect within our bodies? The reproductive part, because that's the part of the plant that's missing. And it seems when they take it out, the quality of the nutritional quality of the food as
Mm.
well. So as the fruit is not as sweet, is not as juicy, it changes the flavor because it does change the frequency of it. Yeah.
Got you. So we are winding down. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Okay.
Family, if you are now tuning in, make sure that you follow the sister. Okay, you can just press the drop down button. If you are watching us on Instagram and give the sister a follow, you can hit up her website, buy some books and her other services that she has, like the retreat coming up and so many other things. Also, if you are new to my page, DTR 360 Books, be sure to give myself a follow. I also have books of all kinds. So you can check out my website, www.dtr360books.com, or you can just simply click the link in the bio. Make sure before this ends that you subscribe, because this interview will be up on our YouTube page. So make sure that you like and subscribe our YouTube channel, DTR 360 Books, so that you can see, hear, and digest all of what the beloved sister is bestowing on us here this evening. All right. So, sister, before we depart and conclude, what's next for you in your business?
Oh, ooh, well, we do have a few more projects that we're working on. It's another children's book that is being illustrated. And I do have another project, which I'm not going to mention, but I'm praying that we will get it out. It's another spiritual project. And we are going to continue our travels. We're doing retreats, like I said, North Carolina, Jamaica,
Jamaica.
Sedona. We're going to go back to Sedona because we liked it so much.
Okay. What part of Jamaica?
Ocho Rios.
Okay.
And then we are starting to plan our trip to go to Kemet in 2023. So, we do keep it busy. We keep things moving. I was mentioning I did just also release a new CD. So on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp,
Okay.
we have all 4 of our CDs is on Bandcamp, raseki.bandcamp.com. So this new one has meditations and some chants and stuff like that. So you all can look out for that. It's healing ritual music. It goes with the healing ritual magic book.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. So now, family, if you have any questions for the sister before we depart, make sure that you drop them in the question box so that the sister can answer it. So I do have one other question before we depart. So we know that love people, right? Hurt people, and heal people.
Yeah.
So when the healer heals people, who heals the healer?
That's a good question.
Right? So who heals the healer? Because she or he is healing everybody else. Who heals the healer?
We actually have to go to other healers for healing because, you know, we heal each other and we can maintain our healing, but it is good for us to allow others to serve us as we serve others. So that's something that I've had to learn. And for anyone who's listening out there who is a healer, make sure you keep that in mind. You know, it's okay for you to go get a massage sometime or get a Kemetic Reiki treatment from one of your students or other healing modalities because we need it. You know, we are taking stuff from others. We have to make sure we keep ourselves clean and clear. You know, I do plenty of fasting and detoxing and cleansing, but I do also enjoy a treatment myself from one of my fellow healers. So thank you
Right,
for asking that.
right.
Yes.
Exactly. Don't forget to treat yourself. Don't forget to love on yourself.
Yes.
And don't forget to be you, right? So, beloved sister, thank you so much for taking the time out and accepting my invitation to bestow such supreme wisdom and supreme intellect. Um, you know, I myself, I'm a student, right? I'm a student of life. So I always like to bring on different people so that I can learn from them. So thank you so much. Any last words that you would like to say?
Well, I thank you so much for the invitation. It definitely was a pleasure and an honor to speak with you, share this time with you and your followers. And I would just say to all of our followers and listeners, you know, we do have to support each other, especially now. We're in a time that things are changing very quickly and reading and getting our knowledge, that is our foundation. So we
Oh,
have to
yes.
make sure that we are checking for our bookstores, making sure we're supporting them just as often as we go to the Walmart and all those other places. We got to share some of that money with our people because that is healing for our community. So
Oh,
that's
yes.
what I'm
Oh,
gonna leave
yes.
y'all
And
with.
I always say, especially the people who, you know me and follow me, I always say that a reading people is a rising people.
Yes.
A reading people is a rising people, right? So
Mhm.
let's rise, beloved family. Let's rise. And
That's
in order to rise, we must read, right? Because if we don't read, we can't grow. And if we can't grow, we can't be our best. And if we can't be our best, then we can't be happy. And if we can't be happy, then what else is there?
That's right.
Right? So the foundation is knowledge. The foundation is to know. And
Mhm.
then apply what you know to have wisdom. And then that wisdom turns into understanding. All right. So I want to thank you again, beloved. You know, if it's okay, I would love to have you on again to speak more, to, you know, go more in depth into, you know, the spirituality and what you do, and even like your other books and so forth. So I'll definitely be in touch.
Okay, that sounds good. I look forward to it. And thank you again for asking. Uncle Justin Neb, to everyone, life,
Indeed.
prosperity, and good health.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, shalom. Hotep, Islam, Alafia. Peace.
That's it.